Today on The Social, President Trump scraps trade talks with Ottawa following Ontario's tariff ad. Did Premier Ford make the wrong move? And does a love that starts off hot fizzle out the fastest? We debate the role of chemistry in long-term relationships. Then, do you even lift, though? Strength training helps women in menopause. Find out what works and what's a waste of our time and money. Plus, can you clone your pup and bring him back to life? Is gourmet cat food worth the splurge? We dig into the science of pets with author Jay Ingram. It all starts now on The Social.
Why are you all so gorgeous?
So fancy.
This is very fair for us. Oh, no, it's right back at you. You look amazing. And by the way, I see the jerseys. Go Jays go today.
Hey!
All right, we're all on Team Canada right now, aren't we? We really are. Someone who's not on Team Canada, U.S. President Donald Trump. All right, have you heard about this? He has decided he has ended trade talks with Canada over an ad featuring Ronald Reagan that ran on American television and was paid for by us, the Ontario taxpayer and the Ontario government. You haven't seen it? Take a look.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer.
Okay, well, what's the response? Donald Trump, he was up late last night on his Truth Social because this is what he said. Canada cheated and got caught. They fraudulently took a big buy ad saying that Ronald Reagan did not like tariffs when actually he loved tariffs. So who was behind this ad? Our money. It was Ontario Premier Doug Ford who ordered this ad. So was he wrong in doing this ad?
What do you guys think?
Oh, mixed.
Listen, I'll tell you, right now there are a scrum of reporters standing outside Doug's office waiting to talk to him. He's in trouble. Oh, I just watched the news, honey. He's in big trouble. And I'm going to defend him for a second because I think I know what he was thinking when he came up with this ad campaign that was specifically targeted to the U.S. market. He was thinking, I have a very unpredictable world leader right now, and nobody knows how to approach. You don't know how to approach him on your knees or on your feet or on your belly because he's always changing his mind. He's very volatile. So I think they were just trying to think outside of the box with this ad campaign. But I think someone in his camp should have been like, yo, Dougie, you got to know when to stay in your lane. Because I feel like right now there are two things that are going on. He has really ruffled the feathers of the American public and the worst part, President Donald Trump. But also it seems like he's also ruffled the feathers of the Prime Minister's office because they're like, listen, I think Prime Minister Carney had something that was in the works and he's kind of undone this. And those talks that Carney had with President Trump seem to be kind of quiet right now, or stalled at least. The part that bothers me the most is, I understand you want to try something different, but do not use $75 million of our tax dollars to do that. Because now you gambled with our money.
Yeah.
You gambled with our money. money, and now it seems like not only do you gamble with our money, but you made things worse because now all the talks have stalled. So to Dougie, I'd be like, ooh, you're in trouble.
I had the same reaction about the $75 million. It sounds like so much money.
Because it is.
It is a lot of money, but if you break it down in terms of the Ontario government budget, it's 0.034% of the total budget. That's like 3.4 cents on $100. So that sort of puts it a little more into perspective. And I think the whole reason, Doug Ford said the whole reason or purpose behind this ad was to appeal to Reagan Republicans and sort of pit them against MAGA-style Republicans because there are midterms coming up, right? And Reagan Republicans are going to remember their hero, right?
Yeah.
And I thought the ad was rather effective,
I
to
thought
be
it was
quite
great.
honest.
Yeah. What do you
I mean, well, I also couldn't help it. Like, I'm not a big fan of Doug Ford for the most part. But this, I was like, oh, it's actually a clever ad to use those words against Trump. But the thing is that people are now calling out saying that he cut off the beginning part of it where he was, in a way, talking about the fact that he needed to enact, Reagan at the time, some tariffs against Japan at the time. I still think, though, that criticism doesn't really hold because ultimately what he was saying that in the long run, tariffs aren't great. So I think the point still stands. I think what the question is like, is this act, which I think for Doug Ford supporters is an act of like defiance. It's an act of I'm standing up for workers. It's an act of I'm doing something. Where many people will see Carney as not doing anything.
Right.
I'm not saying I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I can understand why people who are fans of Doug Ford are like, at least he's doing something. What I think the question remains is, are Carney and him actually, do they know? Are they communicating?
Based on what I saw on the news,
cahoots?
it doesn't feel
Are they
like
in
those two
cahoots or
officers
not?
had a conversation.
And that could be
with that, and
problematic.
that's
But
the
maybe it's
problem.
strategic. Maybe it's like good cop, bad cop. And ultimately, I think the thing is that like, will this move right now? Okay, obviously we know like the conversations are done for now, but they were already done like a few days ago.
I got to say this, when we
know.
look at the timeline, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. We don't actually know how close they were in their talks or not. According to the Globe and Mail, they were close last week to some kind of sectoral tariff reduction. And listen, I get where Doug Ford was coming from. The Canadian worker, especially here in Ontario, we've had headlines. Real people and real families are losing real jobs. There is no debating that. And there's a part of me that understands that appeal, that Doug Ford, remember Captain Canada? It wasn't our Prime Minister, it was Doug Ford. And I never thought that I would say he's the guy to be Captain Canada. So whether or not he's in cahoots with the Prime Minister or not, that's a great question because talks are off. But I would argue talks have never been in a great place. We have never been in the driver's seat. And because of that, I think we don't know how to deal.
Trump has double-crossed everyone else,
He's
too.
double-crossed everybody else. And so I think for me, the challenge here is, what will this do long-term? Where were we even going?
Can I give you an example
that
of what's already happened?
Anywhere.
So you remember when Doug Ford threatened to cut, he wanted to do something action-oriented, and he threatened to cut off the power supply to the U.S. Everyone remembers this, right?
This is back in March.
And Trump again got really, really mad because it's like fighting fire with fire. He got really mad. Doug Ford relented and said, no, no, no. Guess what Trump still did? Trump still responded by doubling steel and aluminum tariffs. So he still, it didn't matter.
That's
even
the unpredictable.
So that's the thing. Is that
Then
now,
why would he roll the dice again and pull this ad campaign?
That is the question.
I mean, I guess
that's the question, and use our money to do it.
Yeah, but what if it actually works? We have no idea how effective it'll be until those midterms.
I actually agree with that, because if you believe Doug Ford, this was not meant for Donald Trump. This ad,
it's meant for Americans.
Why is it meant for Americans? As Canadians, even though this is impacting us, we don't have any control over a mercurial Donald Trump. You know who has control to oust him out of office? American voters. This ad is for American voters. They're the only ones that can save themselves and therefore save us. That's what I think Doug Ford was doing.
Well, whatever he's doing, he's in hot water right now.
Yes. Oh, I just want to say this. We just got news that the ad is going to be shown during the Fox broadcast of Game 1 of the World Series.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Did that change some of your mind?
That's the question. Wait. The question is, why is it being? Is it going to be a news story, or are they just running it as a regular
They
ad?
have bought airtime on Fox
That's
News.
what the $75 million bought us.
So you know what that tells me?
That it worked?
No, I think that would not have happened without a buy-in from Prime Minister Carney.
There you go.
Oh.
Maybe.
Well, that was interesting. All right. Well, we'll keep our eye
You know what
on
that is?
one.
A this, and then it's a this.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Shank.
All right, so let's move on to another contentious relationship. In other news, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos got into an on-air spat live on Mark and Kelly. After she proposed, they get an airport divorce. That's when a couple separates after arriving at the airport and reunite at the gate. So would you guys be into an airport divorce?
Yes. Me too.
Really?
No? Hey, I'm with you. I would be too. I'll try to explain really quickly. I'd worry that Simon misses flight. Simon turns into a wide-eyed toddler at the airport. Ooh, an escalator. What's that? I've never seen one of those before. And then it's especially frustrating, you know, when you're getting home and you have to get to customs, so I'm always like, pick up the pace, my friend. Like, we want to get to the front of that line so that we can get home. And I look behind and he's walking backwards down an escalator. Like, look at me. Look what I can do. I'm like, I don't care.
What about you, Sin? How was the airport?
Oh, well, I would start the airport divorce, like, from the house. Like, I wouldn't do it.
Wow.
I'm serious. No, Jason and I have a different concept of time. It's become an issue in our relationship that we've figured out for the most part. Like, for example, if I go and visit my parents, like, I just leave in a separate car and I'll be like, see you later. Because it saves me from being very angry half the time. What we do now, and we just did this for the first time the last trip we took, is that I got Jason to book everything and not tell me when our flight leaves. This is a hot tip, and I was like, if we miss it, it is on you. All of the guilt, all of the shame. But if I don't know, I'm kind of blissfully, I'm like, okay.
Cynthia,
But you're doing...
that's genius.
I know
I'm
it
sorry.
works. That's your fix.
Okay.
Smart.
Even though the firstborn in me is having a panic attack right now over that.
Try it out.
Because my notes basically say if you have got a family, the airport divorce works as long as he takes the kids, and then I could be all by myself.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? People are always, when you're single, people are always like, why don't you get married? Why don't you get married? You guys can't even get to the airport without turning into a war zone. And this is something you do, what, once or twice a year, maybe? And you guys can't agree on that? I don't ever want to hear anybody ask me that question ever again. Ever. Okay.
All right,
The airport.
we're fixing all the problems.
airport.
Okay, let's take a breather, everybody, and then do you need instant chemistry when dating, or is perhaps the slow burn the best, okay? Think on that, think on your relationships. What would you like? We're gonna discuss this in 3 minutes. We'll be right back.
Next week on The Social, we're feeling positively wicked. Halloween is around the corner. Find out what our coven will conjure up this year.
Listen, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Not only do we have a fantastic time here live in studio, but we know there's so many sporting events happening. If you're coming into the city, you're gonna see the theater, you're gonna see a game. We'd love to see you here first live in studio. So scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. We'd love to meet you in person because we have a good time.
Do you look for instant chemistry when dating? You know, that sizzle? Because a writer for The Independent argues that immediate sparks hide a multitude of sins beneath that glossy surface. And it's time we romanticize the slow burn. So what do you guys think? Is a lack of chemistry right off the bat, is that a deal breaker? Yes, some.
Yes.
No.
It's interesting.
Interesting.
I'm just remembering right now, it's coming to me. There was this person who I worked beside. Maybe I've told the story before, but I thought he was kind of a dumb jock, and I had nothing, I was no interest in him.
Yeah.
And then he basically was trying to get me to go out, and we were out on a date, and in the middle of him talking, suddenly it was like the switch went on. From after months of me being like,
Yeah.
I was like, and I jumped across the table, and I kissed him. I'd had a couple glasses of wine. Yes. So
wow.
I just dawned on me that like,
Accelerated.
I think that like there has to be something, but I don't know if it has to be instant. I don't think it does. I think it can, but once it comes, it can't be lukewarm, I guess, maybe.
Oh,
maybe?
yeah, okay,
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah.
I know with Ryan, and first of all, I'm a serial monogamist. I could trip and fall in love like all the time.
Yeah.
When I was dating, but with Ryan, when I saw him, it was so instant and so white hot. I can't even describe it. Oh yeah. And I'll tell you something. That would probably be if I was watching me. I'd be like, oh God, girl, red flag. I would say that to myself, but having gone through the whole like ride, which is for me, I need to be instantly attracted. I need something instant. I need something hot, or else I'm not sticking around. You know, I got stuff to do.
It's almost the
There's a
same.
name-
It's almost
There's a name for people like that. They're called friends.
Oh, well, hear this. The first time I saw Simon, I looked beyond him because I was in love with his best friend. So there was no instant spark. I hung out with Simon and his best pal as a trio one summer because I had a massive crush on his best friend. And then slowly, it was the slow burn over an entire summer where it dawned on me, wait a second, this other guy is so much more suited to me. Plus, his best friend didn't like me in that way.
That helps.
Small detail.
Yeah, that helps. That helps.
But no, it was true. Then Simon and I started. Simon asked me to go tap dancing lessons. I got free tickets to a movie. I'm like, you want to go to the movie? And then for like 4 months after that, we started to court. And then all of a sudden, it was this slow burn. And then, oh my God, it's 20 years later.
Wow. Wow. You know what? These are all lovely stories. But I can't stand articles like this for my single people because one thing I've learned, I've talked to everybody who I've ever met in a long-term relationship and I'm always like, what was it? How did it start off? And you know what? There's no rhyme or reason.
Yes.
Some people start off hot, they last forever. Some people start off slow, they last forever. There's no one has the answer. It is for the individual. If you've gone on a date with somebody and it was but in your gut, you know what? I want to give them one more chance, then you go and you do that. But if you went on that first date and you're like, nah, you don't go on the next date. And one thing I'd like a PSA for the married people, stop encouraging people to go on a second date when they're telling you, I didn't feel it, I really didn't want to go.
Feeling, but what
because
if we,
What if I ignored the impulse with Simon?
Here's the deal, that would be you. If you didn't want to do it, that's you. But when you're telling someone who's like, you know what, my gut's saying
if your
I'm
gut,
good.
I understand what you're saying.
So just leave it alone.
The gut feeling, it adds a different element in it because it's kind of that intuition, that female intuition.
But people want you to ignore that and be like, just go again, just go again.
I'll just say this quickly, that like sometimes it's the extremes though. Like I do think that kind of white hot attraction sometimes can be a tiny bit dangerous.
But can you fight that?
I don't know.
You can't. I've been there. You can't.
Here's what I recommend. Just figure it out in the bedroom. It'll come out one way or the other.
Yes, just do it.
Okay, we're gonna move on to this. We don't have enough time. For the first time, guys, in 32 years, the Toronto Blue Jays are back in the World Series. And listen, Toronto Life is suggesting it's in part because of our good luck charm named Eugene Levy. So he's been a longtime Jays fan, and they say his presence brings the team good fortune. So do you believe in good luck charms or superstitions when it comes to the game?
Okay, let me say, I do believe in them. I do believe in them. I'm a huge Jays fan. I have not gone to any of the games. I have watched, but I haven't gone. And now, even if someone handed me free tickets, I would not go because I'm like, I'll be the jinx because I haven't gone all season and they're in the World Series. So if I go, then it's going to mess up. Like, that's how much of a weirdo fan I am. And I love Eugene Levy, and he is a Canadian treasure. But here's the facts about that story. He actually threw out the first pitch in the first game of our season, and they lost. So I would politely ask Mr. Levy, as much as we love you, if you could stay home, because the Dodgers are a really tough team and we really want to win. I'm just saying, we're just a little superstitious over here. If you could just watch from a bar or anywhere but the stadium. Be much appreciated.
I have a controversial thing I'm going to throw out there, okay? It's a question, it's not a statement. Bo Bichette is one of our star players.
Oh, don't start this.
He has not been playing for 2 months because he's been nursing a knee injury. He has been announced to be back in the lineup tonight.
Yes. Yes. No, yes.
What?
Should he play or should he not?
Yes, he should play. He's a part of the team. And he hits dingers. We need him. Yes.
I'm gonna just leave that
I
right
thought
my
you were
gosh.
mispronouncing the Star Wars character Boba Fett. So I think I'm not going to chime in on this one.
The last thing I'll just say is that didn't we all learn from that? Remember when everybody was saying the Drake curse and everything like that? Don't come to the game. Poor Drake. Like, I felt like that was very unfair. And ultimately, the Raptors won.
Yes.
So, like, come on. I think we just need to leave curses alone. Do not put this on. Eugene Levy is a national treasure.
So you don't practice any superstitions?
I mean, maybe it's time for a break.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm glad you asked. So why don't we go to break right now?
That's what I thought.
And ask a very deep question that we'll try to answer afterward. What makes someone stylish, okay? Our whole audience, obviously, yes, stylish. Okay? So we're gonna dive in. So how do you find your personal style? And how do you point it out? Who gets to say who's stylish? We're gonna discuss that right after this. All right, so listen up. GQ has a list out right now of who they say are the 50 people with the most truly original personal style. So names like Justin Bieber are on the list, as did, yep. Let's discuss, as did unexpected heartthrob Walton Goggins, obviously White Lotus fame as well. So, ladies, what do we make of this list?
Listen, I was surprised at some of the inclusions. It sounds like you guys were too. Someone like a Justin Bieber, perhaps, or an Adam Sandler is another one that I was surprised at. But you know what occurred to me? If you're thinking about style, I just thought of the definition right here. The definition is when you say, like, to someone else, oh, you're dressed like Justin Bieber. You're dressed like Adam Sandler. The one that shoots out in my head right now. You're dressed like Diane Keaton. Because she had a style, right?
She did.
She has a sense of style. So whether or not you like the style is almost like a different thing. But if it's a recognizable thing and that person, whether it's your Adam Sandler who's wearing basketball shorts and a sweatshirt and he wears that every single day,
It's his
that's
style.
his style.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. Adam Sandler was the one that I chose as a surprise because I would argue that while you think of him and he has a style, he also looks like every average dad in North America. So is that unique? The reason why I chose is because this takes zero imagination,
little pizzazz.
zero creativity,
matching
zero
going on.
It's
effort.
pattern and solid.
It's a
Pattern
mess.
and solid.
Cynthia,
stripe.
it's a mess. It's a mess.
It is pretty consistent.
It's a mess.
It's
So,
consistent.
and the thing for me that bothers me is like that is him on the street. Those are street shots. But he also does that on red carpets.
Yeah.
So to me, do you remember this
That's
Hotel
commitment.
Transylvania?
Oh, yeah.
It's not commitment. To me, this is the
That's a
double
good one.
standard. This is him dressing up, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, that's actually a good one.
There's a double standard that exists in Hollywood that he's allowed to get away with looking like a schlub while Selena Gomez looks like a goddess. I think it's a double standard, and so maybe just I'm picking on him because he's the only one on the list that I was like, get him off.
Yeah. I think this list is curated so it can spark this type of debate.
Yeah.
Because style is subjective. Like, who's to say who's stylish and who's not stylish?
Well,
But
these
there was-
people apparently
I
think
know.
they can.
But I think they wanted us, they want people to have that conversation. But there's one person that I think most people can agree is pretty stylish, and that is comedian Steve Harvey.
Oh.
He is a well-dressed man. Now, here's the deal. That is the opposite. That is the opposite of Adam Sandler. This is tailored, it is designer, and it is head to toe. But I think there needs to be a little asterisk besides some names, and his name in particular, because first of all, he has a stylist who is incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Secondly, he did not dress like this before he met his latest wife, Marjorie. If you guys remember old Steve Harvey, right, that's his wife, Marjorie. Now, before they met, Steve had a signature look. It was these very long blazers with the hair that was like jet black line, and he had like this, like kind of like a Detroit player look to him. And then when he met Marjorie, Marjorie's like, baby, all that's gotta go. Stop spraying the hair, get rid of it, tailored suits. So really, Marjorie should be on the list.
Correct.
She should get a book style.
Yes.
Just wanted to So give her flowers.
You know, this list really irked me. Like, it really got under my skin, to be honest, because they say in the opening line of it that real deal personal style feels more special and more rarer than ever, which I do agree.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, like, maybe it's because I used to work at fashion television, and that was my first job, and as much as there is a lot of beauty in fashion, there's a whole lot of ugliness behind the scenes. And to me, what I pictured is like the group meeting where everyone sat around with a bunch of pictures, because it's such a mixed bag of people who definitely had personal stylists, unquestionably. People like Julianne Moore, people like Zoe Kravitz, who look amazing always, but is that always just their style? And then a whole bunch of people who I've never heard of, who are, to me, they're objectively beautiful, and you can get away a lot better if you are thin, models, wearing a weirdo outfit, and then you call it style. You put that same exact outfit on someone with an unconventional body type, and then it's gonna be, everyone's like, ooh, that's the worst look ever. So I just feel like there was so much, I don't need you telling me what's cool and iconic. No.
Yeah, just listen to The Social, we'll decide.
We'll tell you.
Okay, listen, one of my favorite topics after the break, we are talking menopause and muscles when we come back. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. The message is everywhere. Strength training plays a key role in supporting our overall health as we age. With so much information coming out way before, coming out the way it's, can I read?
Yes, you got it.
Coming our way, it can be tough to know what works and what is a waste of our time and money.
That's a big part. So our next guest is an exercise scientist with a PhD in integrative physiology. She's here to separate fact from fiction and share real, proven fitness information. Please welcome to the show, Lauren Colenso-Semple. Welcome.
Good to have you here.
So listen, Lauren, a lot of people, a lot of women specifically feel that as we approach menopause or even that perimenopause transition, even middle age, that our bodies, we wake up and it just feels like they're changing, they're different. It might feel harder to stay fit. You're like, I'm doing nothing different and I'm waking up squishy. What's going on? Muscle loss, added weight, especially around the middle section. That's a big shift that we notice. I guess the big question is that real? And what is happening if that's actually the case?
So when we think about muscle and losing muscle, this happens with men and women. This isn't menopause, this is aging and inactivity. So the more sedentary we are, the more that's gonna happen. With weight gain, about 60 to 70% of women gain weight over the menopause transition. So it's not overnight, it's over a number of years. But we can't just blame the hormones because it's really a perfect storm of lifestyle changes during this time. Maybe you've retired, maybe your kids are out of the house, and maybe slowly your habitual physical activity and diet starts to change. The good news is that weight you've gained around your midsection is responsive to a calorie deficit.
Interesting. All right, so every few years, I feel like the fitness industry is always telling us what's really good for us. And right now, I'm hearing a lot about strength training. So talk to us about how important strength training is for our overall health.
So important. So if we think about muscle as our longevity savings account, we want to build it and we want to maintain it so we can tap into it to perform all of our activities of daily living. Having muscle is really, really important for that. And strength training is the best way to build and maintain muscle.
Yeah, I know you believe this, and the more that I've been in this space, I believe it too, that muscle is actually the fountain of youth that we've been chasing. So the question is, what kind of weight should we be lifting? Like, are we tossing 2-pounders around? Are we tossing 50 pounds around? And how often should we be doing this as women?
Yeah, so muscle contributes to our metabolic health, our body composition, and as I said, you know, your ability to perform all of those daily activities. So when we think about strength training, aim for a minimum of 2 full body workouts per week. Even just 20 to 30 minutes can make a huge difference. And we want to be lifting weights that are challenging. So if I'm doing a set of 10, I finish that 10th rep, I want to think to myself, I could only do 1, maybe 2 more. If I can do 10 more, that weight is too light and I need to use something heavier.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great advice. And also 20 minutes, who can't do something for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Everybody has 20 minutes in their day. All right, so what about cardio? Because I feel like there was a time where it was all about cardio, the 20-minute workout, you went to the Jane Fonda workout. Is cardio still good for us?
It is, but I feel like so many of those workouts really encouraged women to exercise ineffectively because it was pushing fat loss, and that kind of workout isn't actually going to help you with fat loss. But cardio and just overall physical activity is absolutely important for our health. The good news is we have a lot of options here. So if you love high-intensity interval training because it's time efficient, go for it. If you'd prefer not to go to the gym for cardio at all and just go for a hike or a bike with friends, that counts too. It's what we can stick to and what we enjoy and what we will continue to do over time.
Right, it's not killing ourselves for an hour run on the treadmill necessarily.
Especially if you're not gonna do that month after month, year after year.
Right, it's gotta be sustainable, absolutely. Okay, so fat loss, muscle building. The big question I have is, how are we eating to get there?
Yes. So what I said before about those 20-minute fat loss workouts that we've all been sold for the past 2 decades, those aren't gonna work. If we want fat loss, we need to focus on changing the diet. Physical activity is important, it's along for the ride, but getting in the calorie deficit by making changes to how much you're eating and doing it on a consistent basis is what will drive that fat loss.
I heard this once, I'm throwing this at you, that muscle building happens in the gym, but fat loss happens in the kitchen. Is that true?
I would agree with that.
Okay, great. Here's another myth out there, intermittent fasting. There's a lot of information out there saying, ladies, you wanna know the quick fix? Do the fasting, it's gonna cut your fat loss. So the first myth, do we or don't we intermittent fast?
So intermittent fasting isn't magic, but if you have fewer hours in the day to eat, it can help you create that calorie deficit. So it doesn't work for everybody, but it can work for you if it just helps you eat less because you have fewer hours.
Can I just quickly, calorie deficit, it's you're burning more than you're taking in.
We're taking in less than we are burning. So
taking in less than we're burning. Got it.
Okay, so here's another myth. All right, so the weighted vest, because I go on my walks and lately I've been seeing these women loading themselves down and I'm too embarrassed to go, does that work? So I'm glad you're here. Does the weighted vest work?
Not the way people are using them. Walking with a weighted vest will not build muscle. It will not build bone.
Whoa.
So what is it doing for you when you're walking with a weighted vest then?
If having a weighted vest makes you excited to go for a walk, I'm here for it. Like I said, all physical activity is good, but you're being sold a scam if you think you're walking with a weighted vest, building muscle or improving your bone
Some
density.
ladies are gonna be upset over that.
Because you know it's the menopause woman uniform.
Listen,
you know that.
I look at it, I'm like, I'm hot just watching them. Plus, my boobs are like, where are we gonna put those? Anyways, let's go to our next myth. Creatine for muscle development.
It works, but the effect is very small. So we talked about doing that set of 10. Maybe creatine supplementation gets you the 11th rep. And over time, that can build a little bit of muscle. But if you aren't lifting weights, don't bother.
Okay.
This is one that's really hot on social media now, and it is cycle syncing, which means eating and exercising differently based on where you are in your menstrual cycle.
Skip this. There's no physiological reason to do it, and it can be really counterintuitive because when we're constantly switching up how we're exercising, then we're slowing our progress.
I'm glad to hear, because when I was on my period, I just didn't work out. I go, I'm on my period, why would I work out? What are we doing that for? Eat something, girl, relax. All right, and finally, targeting fat loss in specific areas.
We can't do it.
You can't.
We can't control where the fat comes from unless we're talking surgical interventions. And importantly, don't do those exercises like hundreds of crunches thinking that you are burning belly fat. It doesn't work, you're wasting your time.
Okay, it's just overall fat loss has to happen.
And the key, nutrition.
So it happens in the kitchen.
And it happens in the kitchen.
Okay,
I feel like a part 2 is necessary because
Yes.
we just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Lauren, thank you for busting these myths. We need scientists like you now more than ever.
Yeah.
So thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. All right, let's take a break. I know everyone's going, the weighted vest was in my cart, so just get it out.
Get rid of it.
Okay. A fascinating conversation coming up next with author and broadcaster Jay Ingram on the science of your pets. That's next. We'll be right back.
I'm so glad you...
Welcome back, everyone. More than 1 billion pets live in homes around the world. But seriously, do you know why dogs spin around when excited? If parrots actually understand the words they speak? Or if cats truly love us?
Our next guest asked the questions we've all had but never knew science could answer in his new book, The Science of Pets. Please welcome veteran broadcaster and best-selling author, Jay Ingram. Welcome back to the podcast. So, Jay,
the definition of a pet can get kind of murky, and it's something that you get into right at the beginning of the book. So how do we define, or do you define, a pet?
Could I make a quick comment about love at first sight?
Oh, yes, please
First,
do.
that happens with pets all the time.
Yeah.
Somebody goes in, they might want to, they actually don't even want a pet, just want to look at the pets in the shelter. I have to have
That's
that
what I got my
pet.
dog.
So if we could understand how that works in humans, maybe we'd understand, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Okay, definition of pet. I think it's any living thing that you treat as a companion in one way or the other. Now, obviously, it's very different. If you have dogs and you have cats, you really do feel like there's a bond.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly because you think you know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And you think they love you.
Yeah.
But really, there's no scientific evidence. We don't know what goes on in their brains. On the other hand, if you have, like I used to have a pair of lizards, I didn't really have a relationship with them. You know, it was fun to feed them and they'd jump around and everything. But still, I consider them my pets. Like, I kept them alive.
Yes.
So there's different levels, and I think the cutoff is kind of, do I think I know what they're thinking, and are they thinking about me, and do they love me?
Yeah.
Once you think
good.
that, you can have anything. You can have a pet rock.
It's true. It's true. You know what I love about this, Jay, is you actually in the book go back and trace humans' relationship with pets. So where did the idea of a pet or the first pets appear?
We're never going to know exactly how far back it goes. The oldest fossil bones of an animal that is unambiguously a dog and not a wolf is 14,200 years old. Wow. The oldest cat remains, and this was a cat buried with a human, so you know probably a pet, is about 11,000 years. So that's a lot. Wow. But think about this. Let's say the oldest dog that we've found is 14,000. There have to have been dogs before that.
Okay.
And then it kind of gets murky because fossils like that are very, first of all, it's hard to distinguish an ancient wolf from an ancient dog because the transition is very slow. So it could be 20,000 years, could be more than that.
Wow.
The thing is, in every country in the world where there are humans, there are animals that they think are their pets.
Incredible.
Wow. Okay.
Can we talk about the human-animal bond? Because I feel like my cat Thomas sometimes knows what I'm feeling. So can pets like cats and dogs sense our moods in measurable ways, though?
So that's a good point about the measurable. But I think you, as you get to know your pet, will be able to tell whether your pet is uninterested in you or is hungry.
Yeah.
That's most dogs, most of the time. And so I think you can make some guesses. But what they're actually thinking, like, look, if my dog nuzzles me, maybe he wants a treat. Maybe he doesn't, he just thinks I'm a vehicle for dispensing treats.
But sometimes they come up to you like when you're crying.
Yeah, they sense our moods.
And lay next to you.
I think, yes, I think that happens. The trick is, and the hard part about writing this book was, have people done experiments to determine that? So, you know, you have a group of people crying, but with animals that aren't pets, are they attracted to that? You know, where and the cats are. I mean, I definitely think there are plenty of informal examples of animals responding to the mood of people. And certainly if a pet owner is angry, animals sense that.
Yes.
But let me give you a quick example if I can. People think that animals, especially dogs who have stolen food, feel guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what really happens, and this has been proven, is that, you know, the food is put out, the dog is told not to eat it, the person leaves the room, the experimenter takes the food out, so it looks like the dog is eating it. The owner comes back in, and the owner swears the dog looks guilty, but the dog has read the owner's expression and is like this because it knows bad things are going to happen. So
They're reacting to us.
you know what? The whole story of pets is, don't focus so much on the pet, focus on the human with the pet.
Yeah,
Wow,
absolutely.
I love that.
Because my
Love
dog
that.
stole sandwiches all the time, and she never looked guilty, and she drank coffee. She was fine with it. All right,
That's
so
probably because you never punished her.
No, I didn't punish her.
Yeah,
So
so there
she
you
can
are.
have it. All right, so there's another chapter in your book called Bringing 'Em Back Alive, which delves into cloning pets. So when you clone Puddles, if that's the name of your pet, is that actually bringing Puddles back?
Puddles will never come back exactly as the original Puddles was, because so much of any animal's behavior and any human's behavior is not 100% genes, which is what you'd replicate with cloning, but the way they're raised.
Right.
And Barbara Streisand had a very rare breed of dog that she loved because of its really lovely little coat.
Cute.
Yeah.
And she got 2 dogs that successfully cloned. Neither of them had the coat that she wanted.
Wow.
And neither of them actually behaved. And so, yes, you can get a dog that probably looks much like the original, but it will never be exactly the same.
Right.
Okay, Jay, we have less than a minute left, but we want to ask you this. Like, humans are literally shaping their pets, as we've discussed, so which begs the question, what do you think the future of pets will look like as we continue on this path? Like, what's the future look like?
Well, you know, that's going to be hard to say because 200 years ago, nobody would have predicted the array of dog breeds that we see today. One thing that is going to happen, you know, some breeds are actually unhealthy
Yeah.
from the get-go.
Right.
And governments and veterinarians around the world are starting to recognize, look, you may want a dog with a really pushed-in face, but that dog is going to have breathing and digestive issues. Is that really a reasonable thing for us to do? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I think it's unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
Yeah.
Jay, thank you so much for joining
thank you.
us today. Always a pleasure. Okay, The Science of Pets. It hits shelves November 4th. But guess what, studio audience? You're going home with your very own copy today. We'll be right back. Oh, great.
We are back. Okay, so Monday here on The Social, Canadian author Jen Suk-Fong Lee tells us about tackling intergenerational trauma in her brand new haunting novel. Also, we'll get a look at some of the spooky season. We'll also take a look at some of the hottest trends in fall accessories. And the last thing I have to say before we go for the end of the day is, we want it all tonight!
There we go. Go, Jace, go!
Okay. Yes. All right, 8 p.m. is when the game kicks off tonight.
Boba Fett will be there. Boba Fett.
Go.
Go, Boba!
We know that Trey Savage has been called up as the opening pitcher tonight.
Yes.
There's going to be some music, too, isn't there?
Yeah, Pharrell's going to be there with his choir, so great entertainment. Lots of people from out of town. Welcome to Canada. Welcome to Toronto.
Yes.
It's going to be a great weekend.
Nice touch.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Listen, this is where it's bandwagon season. So
Yes.
listen, if it's Boba Fett or Boba Shet,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. The bandwagon
long as we
is
win.
big.
I just want them to win.
Yes.
We just
Yeah.
want a win. That's right. Okay, everybody, before I do this, make sure it's the right way up. We want to say have a great, great weekend. We'll see you Monday.